Hi, I was recently traveling in Wales and had an opportunity to go see this castle, Castell Coch, I believe is how you say it, just outside of Cardiff. It's a stunning castle built around the 13th century, and as the sun was beginning to fall, I was able to capture this silhouette photograph with the crazy tree in the front. It reminded me of a haunted house, sort of. So I decided to sketch it. I'm trying out a new pen with some waterproof ink and do some painting. So you'll see now how that painting process went. I tried to keep it loose. I wanted to hold the brush. Generally, I'm holding it near the end of the brush and not up close to the barrel, so that I can have less control over where the brush actually goes. It was a beginning of springtime, so I'm using a fairly bright yellowish green for the grass. And of course, a lot of the sketch and of the painting are of my own design, not trying to follow the photograph exactly. In fact, I didn't look at the photo the whole time I was painting, just so that I could make my own decisions about the colors that I wanted to use. And I made that grassy area much larger and just had so much fun doing this. So just enjoy watching as I do the painting. It goes fairly quickly because, again, as I said, it was a loose painting. I already had the design, and I was trying not to go over and over the brush strokes. I'm using a number 8 round watercolor brush, and the paints are a combination of M. Graham paints that have a little honey in them. They stay moist quite nicely, and they're very vibrant colors. And Daniel Smith I have in some of the yellows and blues. As I was painting, it didn't occur to me until later that I wanted to have kind of a grayish sky. And that was because it had been raining a number of days prior to this jaunt up the side of the mountain to see some of the sights above Cardiff. And that day it was a very nice, partly cloudy day, but the sun was really shining nicely. You'll see at the end I decided to make the sky kind of a grayish color, because as the sun was going down, it was beginning to feel a little bit less sunny and a little more cloudy. I started painting thinking that I was going to be much looser than this. I have trouble loosening up sometimes, especially when I've already done a sketch. Even though the sketch is a little wonky intentionally that way, I just found myself starting to just fill in all of the little areas and deciding only basically what color to use. But as I was painting, I started to think about the color scheme and how to balance it so that it looked cohesive and yet interesting. So if I used a color in one part of the castle, I wanted to use that same color in another part. So you'll see that happening with this grayish, actually turns black in a little while for some of the shadows. And where the red is placed, I really wanted to use a deep dark red, because that's what was on the handrails of that ramp going up to the front door. But as I was painting, I wanted to keep a lot of water in my brush, and that always fades out the colors. And instead of going back and touching up and creating a darker red, I decided to just leave it at that shade. And I think it turned out pretty nicely. Ultimately, when I put that gray sky in, it picks up all of the grays of the walkway and the giant extension there on the right. I'm not even sure what that is. It's part of the castle, another tower up apparently. So as I'm doing this and trying to think, how loose can I go? What can I leave out? I don't want to fill in all of the windows right there. You see that happening. It goes pretty quickly, and at the end you can see the result of trying to keep things looser and just having more fun with it. I really enjoyed doing this project. This shadow that I'm putting on the left side of the walkway ramp turned out pretty nicely right there, and I wish I had just left it. But instead I thought I wanted a smoother transition into the main area. And so I added some water to my brush, and right here I think I've ruined that area. This paper I'm working on is cellulose paper. Well, it is watercolor paper, but it's not high quality. It's not cotton based. And so it doesn't absorb the pigment as well. And when I added the water, it actually just picked up some of the pigment. Instead of making it darker, it actually got lighter. The idea was to have a little shadow there. Now just putting some marks to indicate that there were bricks or stones here and there. Try to get a little bit of the shape of the roundness of those two towers. And so there it is. The painting is complete. And I'm very pleased with the ink that I used for the sketch. It was a Lamy pen, fountain pen, with Noodler's black semi-bulletproof ink. And it didn't seem to bleed at all while I was painting over the top with a lot of water in some of those places. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.